potentially forming up to a hurricane as it goes by Cuba, by the Bahamas, by Florida. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Mark again here, Weatherman Plus. I got a big update for you. Not only what's going on with our severe weather, which is still going all the way till Sunday, still potentially all the way into Monday, but our hurricane season. NOAA just predicted the biggest above average season they ever forecasted. Ever. So we're expecting a lot of storms. Matter of fact, Colorado State University has predicted a hyperactive season. And it's all because we're in above average temperatures. Right now, we're literally sitting June and July temperatures right now. And we still have more warmth coming. We have a lot of deep ocean heat content. And we're going to a strong La Nina phase. Not just a regular La Nina, a strong La Nina. Our hurricane season can potentially be a early season and starting off being a long season. We're going to be La Nina all the way through December and further. Now, I'm going to go through all your latest information because the severe weather is getting a little bit concerning what I can see. We will zoom into this so we can see which places are impacted, potentially by what timing and what is coming. Remember, timestamps are in the description below. I will go to this right after. First, I want to go through what just happened on the hurricane season. Now, remember, this is no secret. All the links to all this information I'm about to show you is in the description below, so you can go check on it yourself. It's their most above average season they ever predicted. They have predicted 17 to 25 total named storms, at least 39 miles per hour winds or higher. 8 to 13 of those are forecasted to become hurricanes, at least 74 miles per hour winds, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes, category 3 or above. And they say this with a 70% confidence. Now you can see how much above average, above normal conditions we're going into for our hurricane season, all the way to 85%. And I can already see that we're starting off into a strong season just like predicted. We have a big system coming in the middle of June. So if you never subscribed, you better subscribe to get updates. Here's your names of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. Also, with 62% probability of a major hurricane making landfall along the U.S. coastline and a 66% probability for a major hurricane tracking through the Caribbean. And here's a forecast from Colorado State University according to the average. So your average numbers is on the right. Right here on the left is what they have predicted. So the average is 14 named storms. They're predicting 23. The amount of days, instead of 69 days long, it's going to be 115 days long. Instead of 7 hurricanes, potentially 11 hurricanes. The amount of days that you're going to be in hurricanes, one after another, form up, whether they landfall or stay as a fish storm. Instead of 27 days, it's 45 days. Major hurricanes from the average of 3 to a 5. Plus the amount of days of major hurricane, instead of 7 days, 13 days. This is an extremely active forecast. Plus your ACE value, your accumulated cyclone energy. Instead of 123, because we're going to above average temperatures, 210. Plus, look at this. We're not only going to a regular La Nina, we're going into an extremely strong La Nina. And you can see this here. After we get out of June for our transition, we're going to be going into La Nina phase for July, August, and September. And it's going to stay strong the whole time, all the way till December, January, and February. So not only extremely warm temperatures to help fuel these storms, less wind shear is what a La Nina brings. That way the trade winds brings these hurricanes a lot closer into the U.S. and the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico without getting a lot of shear from any trough or high pressure messing with it, and it can stay strong. You can get rapid intensification that way, and it's going to last even longer. We're going all the way until winter into a La Nina. So you can see this here. When you go to La Nina, you have warmer ocean and reduced wind shear. Plus, it favors your African easterly jet and a stronger, wetter African monsoon season. This is going to bring a lot of precipitation with less wind shear, above average temperatures. Rapid intensification will happen. Now, normally when we go through June, this is typically what we have. We have something probably weak that can go into the Bay of Campeche, into the Gulf of Mexico. But more than likely, we get this thing called a Bermuda high. Right around Bermuda, we get a high pressure that revolves around like this and brings everything around. And that is what we're seeing possible formation right now. And as of right now, we have very warm waters. Our waters are like June, almost July already, and what they have. And we didn't even begin to start warming up even more. But right here in this track is right where this next tropical wave is potentially going, and a strong one. And you can see the latest update from the potential velocity anomaly with the Ural. Not much difference. You do see it has grown stronger from the MDR region, our main development region, through our area where we have something coming still in the middle of June, right on cue, starting off strong and going to last long. And you can also see we still have that storm system still weaker, that's still coming by the beginning of June. This is still getting hit by that potential trough that's setting up. And from what I can see with the data, we will have that trough. This will be windowed around the Western Caribbean and going out through the possible Atlantic. Then we still have this that's going to form, and we can't even see that far yet. But from what I can see with the ensembles, latest update is still showing we have a big problem. Now you can see the latest pattern update when you look at your EPO, your East Pacific Oscillation. This lets you know how your jet stream is going. And you can see here that our jet stream right in the beginning of June, right around that time period, that we're going to be going into a high ridge. Now when you get a high ridge, on the same time on the East Coast or the opposite side of the country, you're going to be getting a trough. That's how it works. It's like a straight line. When you push on this way will bend, and vice versa. So you can see here that we are going into that high ridge on the West Coast, and that will put us in that trough right around this period. You can see this here on your update for this afternoon with GFS. When you look at your vorticity, you start getting a little wave forming towards the Central America right at the end of May. Then if you watch on the west coast of the U.S., you'll see we start going into this very high ridge. This means you start getting a high pressure building. You start getting above average temperatures. And then at the same time, on the other side of the country, you get that trough. And that's just how that works. Wherever you get a ridge, you will get a trough on the other side, whether it's on the left side. If you get a trough on the west side, you'll get a ridge on the east side. That's just how it works. So when you get that trough, you get a lot of shear as well. But look how it pushes these tropical waves, mostly tropical moisture, a group of disorganized thunderstorms at this point, going right across Jamaica by the very beginning of June, going out into the Atlantic. At the same time, while you get stuff pushed into the Eastern Pacific. And look at the latest shot, showing potentially something could spin up. Still too far away, California. Do not take this seriously. I will keep you updated, showing something possibly spinning up out of that. It's just going into a very volatile season. Even the latest run with the GFS, the 18Z tonight, shows it will form up still, like we're seeing in the ensembles, beginning of June, potentially forming up to a hurricane as it goes by Cuba, by the Bahamas, by Florida, then getting really strong right along the East Coast, just like we've been screaming here all day. And we can see on the latest update what we have now in the Atlantic that has a little small chance of forming, not really a chance at all. You can see it actually goes into the northern Atlantic and actually becomes some kind of focused piece of energy, which is rather interesting. But at the same time, you can see all this precipitation, all this tropical moisture coming across the MDR, going into our Caribbean as we go towards the beginning of June. It's a little bit suppressed right here. We have some dust moving through at the time being. You can see this right here. We do have some dust that's moving through the MDR, going through the Eastern Caribbean. By the end of May, beginning of June, you still got that there. Now, when you have dust, that's like having warm temperatures aloft on a thunderstorm. It will stop it from growing. It will be capped. And you can see this here on the Euro. So as you're starting off, going from June 1st, you see we start getting a surface low pressure forming over here by Central America. And it bottles up for a little bit and starts heading around that Bermuda high pressure that's going to be forming, bringing multiple areas of formation over here by the Bahamas, becoming a potential hurricane. That's where that blue is as it goes into Atlantic, or over here by Central America, going towards Jamaica. So far showing potentially going towards a major hurricane, very strong, or something a little weaker of a hurricane going towards the Western Caribbean. So it's showing very concerning factors with this, especially coming from the Euro, showing a potential major hurricane. Plus, you can see the latest update with the ensembles. As we start on June 1st, we started getting shows of this popping up on our blips around multiple areas on these ensembles, showing the same thing. Could strengthen up and curve right around the same regions that we're seeing on the possible cyclone locations. But once again, your update, this right here is a control. Remember, you're more like an outcome. Showing so far potentially will be something weak, strengthen up past Jamaica, go over Cuba, go over the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and possibly going out into the Atlantic. That is your more likely outcome so far. Not this one going up Florida, not these all going towards the Carolinas. This is all shown in your Gulf as well. There are potentials, but right now, this is your more than likely outcome. Still got the same warning from global tropics all the way to the 4th for something forming up in the Western Caribbean and going to the Eastern Pacific. Now they're showing above average rainfall also for this area as it comes and brings a lot of flooding. Also, National Hurricane Center don't have anything updated besides this 10% still going for this tropical wave that might form in the Northern Pacific somewhere. Now let's trade gears over to the severe weather so you can see what the latest update is. And for today, you do have grown a little bit of a slight risk on the coast of the Maine, plus over here by Tennessee, Kentucky valleys, and your slight risk has grown over here for the south. Now for Tennessee, Kentucky, and Maine, this is going to be for winds. That's what that has updated. Also over here for the south, still expecting significant winds in the black. So here's your cities and states at risk for the damage and wind threat for the next 24 hours. You also have your tornado threat, and that's what portions of that has grown also in the south. So here's your 2% and your 5% chance for tornadoes for today. And the hail threat, you still got a significant severe in all this black area. I'm still showing it's going to pop up in the south, then it's going to pop up from the north central and carry towards the Great Lakes. But here's your cities and states at risk so far for today. National Weather Service has downgraded a little bit and said severe thunderstorms are possible today across parts of the plains, Tennessee valleys, and Maine. A concentration of particularly damaging winds is forecast from Nebraska into western Iowa this evening into tonight. Now for western Oklahoma and Texas, mainly overall slight risk with 15% will be for significant hail probabilities. Now as you go from North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas this afternoon, a possible tornado or two is possible to form up, so be aware of that. Also showing chances of very large hail and damaging winds. Matter of fact, storms are about to kick off as we start through 8 and 9 o'clock for tonight. Now you can see here what your dew points that is going to be in the atmosphere all night long. It's going to tighten up and grow all night. Early in the morning it's going to be there, and it's also going to be there all day for tomorrow. You can also see this with your lift, with your cape, your food for your thunderstorms to grow. That you have all the cape and lift you need for those thunderstorms to keep going. Southern side of this line, this potential bowing out segment, this QLCS that forms up. The southern side will be your biggest chances for an embedded cell as it goes through early AM. You still got your convection, your lift, and you actually have another chance for a potential tornado over here for Iowa early in the morning. Then it carries across towards Illinois and Wisconsin by the time you go through tomorrow afternoon, and it goes across Indiana, Ohio, and the Great Lakes as you go all the way through the afternoon. Then it starts stabilizing as you go through tomorrow night and dissipates. So when you look over here at your storms, you see as your storms roll through the evening, you get a big bowing segment that comes out for Nebraska, for South Dakota. You can also see on your chances for your significant tornado perimeters that the southern side of that is where your chance for your tornadoes could grow, showing you could have damaging winds all morning long going to Iowa, southern Minnesota. And you can see right here from your significant tornado perimeters, you start losing it as you go through the morning all the way to 2 and 3 a.m. But this is where your winds aloft really kick in. So right when you lose your significant tornado perimeters, you can see your winds aloft really get strong on that system that gets bowing out. See that big bowing out feature? It could be damaging winds pushing behind that. But when you have strong winds aloft like that, you got to be aware of a potential embedded cell could turn into a tornado. As this comes along further for tonight, as this bows out, as it continuously bows all morning for tomorrow, goes into Wisconsin, starts losing a little bit of its energy. But you can see with the winds aloft that it starts losing the winds aloft as well. The winds we saw before that put you now into a 5% risk. I'm showing those winds are for northern Illinois instead of southern Wisconsin. You see how this moved along? And you can see with your winds aloft that is right where those cells are following. And then it picks right up again as these cells form somewhere along Indiana. Right around 8 p.m. for tomorrow, you got to watch these storm cells that move through, unfortunately, through central Indiana. You do have strong winds aloft right there on that pocket. It could be an isolated cell, could be some damaging winds, but you cannot rule out a chance for a embedded cell bring you a chance for a tornado inside of there. Just be aware of that. It looks like it's strong all the way into western Indiana. Then it quickly weakens down. So we will see. I will give you the latest update in the morning. Showing all night long to 1 o'clock in the morning, we got chances for 40, 50, even 60 in the red miles per hour wind gusts to spawn up with these storms. But as you go by early in the morning, overnight, that bowing out is going to be bringing 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts to northern Minnesota, over here for northern Wisconsin, southern Minnesota as well. But look at this banding that comes across eastern Nebraska, goes into Iowa. That's bringing 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts with that as well. Then when you go towards tomorrow morning, it travels through Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. It's been showing strength right here, run after run, even spotty strength where it could be a strong multiple couple cells that could form right over Illinois. Unfortunately, this is now trending. That you have 60, maybe even 70 coming in those storm cells as they pass by. You can see the lines of the storms as this passes by. Going to western Michigan, western Indiana, even central and southern Indiana, still bringing that 40, 50 miles per hour wind gusts. But it starts milding down as it pushes further to the south past Tennessee and past Ohio. This is the most dangerous portion I'm seeing of the severe weather as this kicks in for early in the morning, starts for tomorrow, then for tomorrow. And this is right where you have a strong section at. So for tomorrow, it has grown. Your chances for tornadoes, you can even see you're in that 5% right here. That also includes me and the big 2% going down towards Texas. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the chances for tornadoes for Friday, for tomorrow. Also, your wind threat is in that region and your hail threat is a little bit smaller. Even have chances for significant severe for tomorrow. Plus, you can see with the Euro as we go through for tomorrow. Remember, it's not a high-resolution model. You can see how much different it looks than HRRR as you go through for tomorrow. Then it grows in for Saturday in the South Central. And as that grows towards Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes for Sunday, still have that severe weather threat. Matter of fact, their lower level winds is starting to look a little more organized on that storm system. Showing as we get the storm system growing for Saturday, we'll get strong winds aloft for Oklahoma, for Kansas, going into Missouri and Arkansas. You see that right there? Strong winds aloft. This is going to help bring a lot of lift, a lot of instability, and give you wind direction change of height on your thunderstorms. Get a lot of rotation in the atmosphere. And as you go through Sunday, look how it strengthens. You have stronger winds aloft over here as it goes through Illinois. Then as it goes through a little bit of Indiana and western Michigan and strengthens up some more on the way up while it's banding all the way around to the Tennessee, Kentucky Valley as you go through Sunday night. So Sunday is starting to come together, looking like a concerning factor as we go through Sunday, unfortunately. And you can see this here for Saturday, going to severe weather risk. We still have that significant severe in this black chances for strong tornadoes and the 30% and the 15 and the 5. Here's your cities and states at risk for severe weather risk for Saturday. National Weather Service still has potentially significant severe thunderstorms are expected across portions of the central and southern plains vicinity on Saturday. All severe hazards are possible, including a couple strong tornadoes, damaging gusts, and large to very large hail. And once again, the development may be rapid and intense, and the storms will become severe quickly. Strong tornadoes, very large hail, and damaging gusts are all possible, particularly from near the Red River into Oklahoma and eastern Kansas. Plus, we still got the Bowen Line segment that's going to be overnight. That could be more damaging winds, more QLCS tornado potentials that's coming with this storm as it goes from Saturday from South Central towards Sunday to the Great Lakes. And your latest update for Sunday, here's that 15% and that 30%. And I believe we could see maybe a 45% risk in here. Here's your cities and states at risk so far. And you see the latest update with Colorado State University for Saturday with National Weather Service. Going into Colorado State University looking about the same thing, everybody. And that's what's really concerning because Colorado State University is the first one to forecast an extremely hyperactive hurricane season. And they've been right the whole time, it looks like. And for Sunday, as you get that big 15% risk and that 30% risk, you can see here from Colorado State University, you have the 15, you have the 30, but over here in this purple, you got the 45% risk, maybe even a very high 60% risk for eastern Illinois and western, southwestern Indiana. And that can be very concerning. It's looking like it's going to be very powerful, unfortunately, everybody. So let's look at the latest information you can see for our chances for significant winds for today. This is your areas for your chance to get potentially up to 74 miles per hour wind gusts or stronger as you get this tail whip that passes through. And remember, the southern side is where you're going to get a lot of this hail. Remember, this is central time up here. This is early in the morning. Get a big bow and echo pushing out, bringing chances for QLCS tornadoes, also damaging winds and hail. And it does grow a little bit more. So as we go towards 2 o'clock in the morning, Keep pushing through for 3, 4, 5. Look at this, looking very strong right there. 5 o'clock in the morning. There's a lot of bowing out coming with these storms as you go through the morning. The morning is going to be pretty severe on these cells. Let me see if I can move in a little bit closer for you as you go towards 6 o'clock in the morning. So now you're waking up. A lot of people going to school, a lot of people going to work. You got this big windstorm, big hailstorm that's moving through. Now it's bowing all the way towards northern Wisconsin, starting to get a little bit severe by Altoona, swinging around, still staying around. So for tomorrow, you can see our area at risk for this line of storms. Let's move this first. And you see as this goes through, still going through early in the morning. Now we're moving at 9, 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock by noontime, it's still moving through. Got strong storms over here for southern Wisconsin through northern Illinois. Got hail cores moving all down those as well. You're getting some line of storms moving through Missouri as you go through tomorrow morning, picking up around 10 and 11 o'clock. Starting to look like some nasty little hail cores in there as well. You still have those there, getting a little bit of a linear storm moving through. Maybe some straight line winds that's going to be moving with that as well from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Also, this is weakening down for Wisconsin by then, and it's strengthening up for Illinois going from Missouri. So as you go by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, go by 2, 3, 4. Still a lot of bowing out in here, and you can see it does keep going all the way to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Now you're starting to lose some intensity on the northern side, and it's really starting to dissipate. This is where it dissipates and it stabilizes in the atmosphere, and it loses a lot of its strength. If you check it out a little bit, you can see a hail core every now and then in there. It's not sporadic like it was, so it is showing that it potentially will still lose its strength. But at the same time, while this starts stabilizing for tomorrow night, then it's going to really wake up for the south. Because now you got isolated storms going anywhere from Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, even through Mississippi, Alabama, even Georgia. Look how it's just sporadic as it moves through. It weakens as it goes, but it's going to start off strong for a moment as you go through for tomorrow night. Bring a lot of hail down with that as you keep going 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock. Now it's starting to weaken on down. Thank you for your time, everybody. I hope this has helped you understand what is going on. I hope it does help you prepare. And tell me what you think down below in the comments. It's either below or it's on the side again. They're flipping it around all over again. But let me know what you think about this hurricane season, because it's looking very concerning. Not only information I see, the information that other meteorologists around the world also see. So tell me what you think below. If this does help you, please consider leaving a like for the video, support the channel, hit the subscribe button. I will see you again for tomorrow morning. Remember, during hurricane season, I always do afternoon updates so we know what the latest information is. Now, before you go real quick, I got something I want to talk to you about. Psalm 104, 31 through 33. A lot of people out there think that when Jesus Christ comes back, he's just going to be a normal man that's going to come down on the clouds, and we're all going to see him, and he's going to be just regular. What you don't know is that he is going to be really huge. If he just dipped his finger into our atmosphere, it would cause chaos. He's going to be so big. The glory of the Lord shall endure forever. The Lord shall rejoice in his works. He looketh on the earth, and it trembleth. He toucheth the hills, and they smoke. I will sing unto the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have my being. Amen. But remember, all glory always goes to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope he keeps you safe every single day of your life and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great night, everybody. Get ready for these storms and get ready for this hurricane season.